Wow, man. Guys, I gotta tell you, my brain actually hurts right now, but in a good way. I'm gonna go grab myself a drink, then we'll roll right into this. Hit the intro.
Start looking at the world in a new way.
And try to understand it. Feel it.
What the hell happened here?
Hasn't happened yet.
All right, guys, I got my drink, and welcome back to Real Time for the Real Everyday Movie Fan. I am, of course, Josh Williams. Thank you so much for joining me here today, because I am here to give you my real-time review of Tenet. Now, Tenet was written and directed by Christopher Nolan, and it stars John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, Himesh Patel, Michael Cain, Kenneth Branagh, and Aaron Taylor Johnson, making a little surprise role that I was not expecting, but I was glad to see him in this. Now, before we get into this review, guys, please let me let you know that this movie is sponsored by B&B Missouri 6 Theaters. Now, let's take a brief promotional video for them, giving them a shout out for all their great help to help me get the reviews out to you as early as possible. So watch the pre-promo, then we'll get right back to the review. We'll be right back. B&B Missouri 6 is the premier theater to see a movie if you're in the Missouri area. The refreshments are delicious, the seats give you full reclining comfort, and the movie viewing experience is euphoric. But the main reason I wanted B&B to be my sponsor is their staff and the overall movie-going experience they provide. They're professional, friendly, inviting, and they truly have you leaving the theater feeling, as their motto goes, the magic of the movies. All right, guys, thank you so much for indulging me there, to giving my sponsor the proper props they deserve, because I wouldn't be able to review movies if it wasn't for them on a regular basis. So now, let's jump right into the review. Oh, wait, no, we can't yet. If you guys like what you watch, hit the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel so you can receive more of our various content in the future. So now, we got that part out of the way. Now let's jump into this. So, coming out of that, my head is still hurting. I took some aspirin a little bit ago, but I think that is a good thing. Now, when you walk out of this movie, probably just like me, you're going to think the exact same way. What the hell did I just watch? But in a way that you have a spectacle in front of you. This movie is so epic and amazing that it almost, like, I can't put it into words in a way, because it gives you that psychological thriller mixed in with action, along with just amazing acting to put it on the cherry on the top. Now, let's get into, there's a lot of things I won't be able to go into, because I'm honestly going to be able to have to see this a couple more times just to fully grasp what the hell I just watched. But what I will do is I'll talk about things I do know, and some of the things I like and did not like, which is very few in my opinion. Now, start off the things that I did like. Right off the top, the action. The action is on such an epic scale, and even on the filmmaking standpoint, I want to figure out how the hell Christopher Nolan did some of the things he did, as far as making action go backwards in time while characters are moving forward in time. I've never seen it like that before. I've seen things where things go back in time, but not in a way that he has made this movie look. I mean, and that also has a lot to do with feeling the action and the veracity of it and then the epicness of it. You have to compare what Christopher Nolan can do, but you got to add in some great actors with it and actresses, and that is where Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, and especially John David Washington come into the equation. My God, they were so great in this movie. They really anchored the film throughout the whole movie. More specifically, John David Washington than anybody else. His ability to give you such organic emotion on such a wide variety of range is spectacular. I mean, if you haven't seen a BlacKkKlansman, please check them out on that. Also, the same thing with Robert Pattinson. If you want a glimpse of what he can possibly be with Batman moving forward, check him out in this. His acting is still on top-notch levels, but he gives you such what was that? What's the word I'm looking for? I wouldn't say spectacular, but raw action to it that I think when you saw him in the Batman trailer, it kind of transfers onto this. So you're kind of going to get a sense of like what it'd be like for him to play Bruce Wayne. So that is very exciting for me. And Elizabeth Debicki, she is such an amazing actress. You've seen her in so many other things. Most notably, I think you might know her from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. But in this movie, her range of emotion is on point. Now, Kenneth Branagh, too, is another one I got to bring in as the antagonist. He does such a great job with the material he's given. And I'm not saying as that, oh, he's given it and it's bad material. It's not. It's great material. But he is such a focal point in the film that you're almost confused as to, how this all comes about. But when he's acting and when he's giving you his anger or his, lack of it, kind of like that cold, dead in the eyes look, he does such a good job at it. And I could not applaud him more. I mean, he's such a great amazing actor. I can't wait to see him in Death on the Nile. I loved him as that character, and I'm just excited to see that going forward. Now, other part of this movie that I think is probably my favorite part, honestly, it's probably my favorite part, which is the score. Ludwig Göransson, he's done so many different stuff. I'll probably, throw some posters up right here of what he's done so far as score is concerned. But this movie is probably his magnum opus. It almost takes on a character of its own, but also helps intensify certain scenes, especially with certain action scenes. Like, I feel like without his score, they wouldn't feel as epic and as intense as they do. Like, if you put in something different, it may have given me a different feel. But this one, I almost just want to listen to it on its own because it's just that amazing. I can't applaud him more, and I'm really, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm really curious to see. Like, I want to go back and listen to his other stuff because I really want to make sure I'm saying that right. But I do firmly feel this is his best score yet. Now, some of the things I may not have liked is, well, I will say I love films that challenge the shit out of me as far as a psychological standpoint that makes you think throughout the whole movie and makes you think afterwards. This movie does that. Some people, they may not like that, especially how hard it makes you think, more so than anything he's ever done, more so than Interstellar, more so than Inception, anything. This movie, I feel like, is going to be talked about for years to come. But at the same time, I can see some people getting so frustrated with trying to keep up with what he's throwing at you that you're just going to lose interest. But while the action does keep you enticed, I can see some people getting kind of angry and not really like wanting to figure out what the hell is going on, but just kind of, enjoying for the action and just kind of discard it. But for me, and if you love films that do that, it almost entices you and almost challenges you to go back to the theater and watch it again to help you figure out all the breadcrumbs that are going on and all the pieces and subtle spots in the film that help bring this, structure part of the film to in your mind, its conclusion of what you can tell what happened and how everything is transpired. Now, that's probably, I can say that as a negative only because while I love it, I can see some people not liking that. I can see some people just wanting to enjoy themselves and not be too challenged. Now, sometimes challenge is good, but if it goes over too hard, goes over that line, it can draw people out. That's why I'm giving that part a negative. But overall, guys, I mean, like I said, I'm going to have to rewatch this movie. I can't give you guys a score. I'm going to need to see it a couple more times. I'll do a spoiler review later on down the week with Casey. I already talked to him. He agreed to do so when he sees it, and I will give you my score then. I just need to make sure that the structure he has created as far as the time travel elements, that they're sound as far as not like logically sound, but also just like on a scientific way sound, and make sure there's no plot holes within it. Right now, in my brain, I have this, and in my gut, I feel like this is a brilliant, brilliant film that is so rewatchable that you almost like Inception. I feel like this is like the new Inception that we will talk about for decades, for the decade to come. So I can highly recommend this film, guys. As long as you're going to the theater, you're being as safe as possible, and you're taking all the right precautions. I feel like the movie theater is doing a fantastic job at making things safe for their audience and for their viewing and for their audience's viewing experience. So please check it out, guys. I can't highly recommend this movie enough. I don't know what else to say. This movie was epic. It was amazing. It was a psychological thriller through and through. I mean, it blew me away on that aspect, but I want to make sure on a psychological standpoint, it still blows me away. I want to make sure I'm not finding any holes within it. And you'll find out later this week whether that happened or not after I see it a couple more times. And hopefully we will be able to talk more about it after you guys have seen it as well. But that'll do it for me today, folks. Thank you very much for watching. And if you have seen Tenet, what did you think of it? Without giving any spoilers away, give me your thoughts on, because I'm pretty sure you're thinking the same way I am as you're watching this review of, you know, how you're processing this film. But leave your comments section below without giving away any spoilers of what you thought of the movie. And if you can give a score, go ahead and give me your score, and we can continue on the conversation from there. Also, if you like what you watch, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you can receive more of our various content in the future. Also, like us on Facebook, Twitter, and Stardust. Links are in the description below, as always. That's all for today. Again, I am Josh Williams, and thank you for keeping it real with ReelTime. Cheers.